This is a podcast and a CD. Welcome to a podcast and a CD. This is Nick, and today I'm talking about Metallica's "And Justice for All." I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I want to do next. Sometimes on the show, sometimes not on the show, but I sent out some feedback requests, and I actually got a lot of votes to do some Guns N' Roses, so we'll see. But I kind of wanted to do some more Metallica because Metallica is just like my band, really, and this album has always been, I don't know, over the last 25 years, I think, has been my favorite Metallica album. I like every Metallica album. My least favorite is easily Reload, but I love all their albums. I listen to them all the time. And, as far as bands and stuff, it's like, Van Halen, Metallica, they're like, my favorite now, especially since Eddie's passing in 2020, that, Metallica is for sure my favorite band that will, active band. Cause Van Halen is unfortunately no more, but I did not get time this week to listen back to some of my Metallica shows. I did, but I just wanted to jump back into them. I figured there's plenty to talk about. I think what I'm going to do is cover the studio albums. Let me take a look at that's not it. I'm trying to, where's my show artwork? There it is. So I think what I'll do with Metallica for now is cover the studio albums. So we're talking, obviously, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, Metallica, Load, Reload, Saint Anger, Death Magnetic, and then Hardwired. And then at some point in the future, we'll go back to Metallica and hit their other releases that are important releases. But that's my plan for now anyways, is cover this Metallica stuff because it is for sure. I know I've talked about Springsteen, and with Eddie passing, I was kind of just like, I don't know what I want to do. And so, but Metallica is definitely one of the bands I'd like to cover some more before I move into that Springsteen stuff, just because of the flow of my musical journey, I guess, as far as a fan and a listener and stuff like that. So Justice for All is today. And so the other thing about this is that, like I've said over the last couple of years, is that I do have the deluxe box set of Injustice for All, and it is just a beast of a box set. So I'm thinking when we come back to Metallica, at some point, we'll probably hit the box sets and their own shows, which might seem crazy, but there's so much stuff on all those box sets. It's just like, and we'll touch stuff here and there, but like, we're not going to dwell on it. My focus for today is, I think, like what I was doing with my other Metallica shows, going through the albums, maybe hitting a live version here and there of these songs that are some of my favorite, I don't know, takes or releases and whatnot. So, all right, so little intro there. So back to Metallica we are. This album, like I think I said on my Anthrax Among the Living show, it's either Among the Living or One were the first metal songs I ever heard. And I would have to double check with my brother to see if he recalls exactly, but I just remember, this is way back. I was probably 7, I was probably 8, because this came out about a month before I turned 8. September 7th, 1988, obviously. I'm trying to think. Anyways, this or Among the Living was at least song-wise one, and the song Among the Living from Among the Living from Anthrax, or it was first thing. But I remember the chorus to one, and of course, remember I was 8, and I had only really heard like Elvis and the Beatles and like whatever, the Beach Boys and just other stuff that, whatever crap pop music was on the radio, just being a normal person, you just hear all the hits and people talking about that kind of stuff. And always liked, obviously that music that I have been hearing, but I do remember sitting in my uncle's bedroom and hearing the chorus to one, just being like, whoa, like that's doing something to me. I don't know what it is, but it's doing something. So yeah, it's a pretty big thing. And then, fast forward to, well, I know we had a cassette tape of this, my buddy John and but I do know for a fact this was the first CD my buddy John bought. So this one time in 93, I think, we came over to his place. He had it was a boombox, but it still had a CD player in it. And so we were done with cassettes. He had Injustice for All. And I just remember hearing the intro to Blackened. And at the time, I'd only really heard the Black Album because it must have been 92 actually when he got that, because I was far into, yeah. So anyways, So in 92, I'd say early 92, my buddy got his new boombox and got the CD to this. And I think it had something to do with his brother, because his brother was older than us, I think 6, 7, 8 years older than us, and older than me anyways. And he was in the era of like, he wasn't crazy about the Black Album when it came out. We all were. Me and John were. I'm not sure about my brother. I can't remember. Whatever. No one in my circle like hated the Black Album or anything like that. So, but anyways, that was my first experience with this album, and just hearing it and not knowing about the bass issues that we'll talk about briefly. But I mean, it's always just had this cool flow to it to me, this album, and just listening to it start to finish, top to bottom, whatever you want to call it, is just like great to me. And always been a huge Newsted fan. Still am. Still wish you'd come back to Metallica, and I don't think that's ever going to happen, but when I do hear stuff with Newsted on it, I'm just like, oh, I just wish Newsted was back in the band. And that's no disrespect to Trujillo. It's just, but Newsted was like, probably still is like my favorite bass player. So it's not a knock on Trujillo, because I love Trujillo, and he was with Ozzy and he played with Zach and stuff like that too. So yeah, it was great stuff. And then once I got my guitar in September of 92, I really got into this album a year and a half after that. In like early 94 was when this album really just sank in, and the riffs on it just became my favorite riffs. And it was really like, that's really when, for us anyways, me and John and my brother were really started listening to a lot more Metallica and like Master of Puppets and Justice for All and all that kind of stuff. Because again, at that point, it was only the Black Album was the newest album. And so we had the Binge and Purge box set. And I say it's pretty much my buddy John, but he had the original one too, with like the 3 VHS tapes, all that kind of stuff. It was in the huge box. And unfortunately, one of his live, I think it was disc 2, got ripped off. Someone broke in his car in like 95, 96, stole a CD player out of his car, and I felt bad because I was the one that put disc 2 like in. I remember like, oh no, anyway, so, but that was all we had. And of course, like, and Megadeth at the time only had up to Countdown actually. And so we started expanding more. And I remember the day my buddy got Master of Puppets as well. It was all in that early 94 thing. And we just really started diving deep into this Metallica stuff. And again, we all had the Black Album, but it became just, I don't know, just obvious that we needed to move into the deeper Metallica stuff, because again, like, we had Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. It was basically what we listened to. And Me and my brother liked a band called Tourniquet too a lot. We still do, sort of. It's a long story, but I mean, those were like our bands. And so it was like, I always liked the Black Album. I had no problems with it. I liked One. And so I'm like, what else has this band got? And, and this is it. So I guess we should move into the music because there's a lot to talk about because these are long, awesome songs. But Metallica, and again, I didn't hear my show recently from the Master of Puppets, my Master of Puppets show. Obviously, Cliff Burton passed away in an accident in Copenhagen. I think it was September 27th, 1986. So they hired Jason Newsted. Newsted did some stuff with the Garage Days revisited. So that was just like a little EP, and it ended up being, let me see. I think Newsted was, I was reading one of the books, Life, Death, Birth, School, Metallica, Death, whatever that book's called. And Newsted was like in the band, but there was this period of touring and doing stuff where they weren't sure if he was like actually, I can't remember what he said. It was, I thought 87. He said he was actually offered the position of, Sweden. Sorry. Burton died Sweden. Anyways. And so basically they kept touring, came right out of the gate after Burton passed away, just went back. I think they were back on the road in October or something or whatever. I mean, they hired Newsted in October. It was quick. So they didn't take much time off, didn't stop. And then they, jumped in and started working on Justice for All. Something I think I knew, but I kind of forgot, was that they got Mike Klink that did, in our world, he did Appetite for Destruction. He did Use Your Illusions 1 and 2. He did Rust in Peace. Someone I meant to look up. See what else. I can't remember. Yeah, okay. Motley Crue, Megadeth. I said Megadeth. Guns N' Roses, Whitesnake, Triumph. Yeah, so I think I covered his, from what I know, his biggest projects. But he started working on it with them, and they wanted, I think I know how to pronounce his name finally, the Fleming Rasmussen. Lars, I think, wanted him to come in and work on this album. He couldn't start, I think he said, until like March 1st, and they were like, we're starting January 7th of 88. And he's like, I hope you'll be there. He couldn't be there, and so they got Mike to do it. Mike was like being told by management, Metallica's management, that they're going to record Metallica's way, and he's like, I don't know what that means and whatnot. And they basically, which I did find out, or at least refreshed, a lot of the Metallica stuff, like I've heard at some point, but I just, don't brush up constantly on my Metallica knowledge. See, hey, I did that on the Metallica show. Every now and then on the Megadeth show, I say Metallica, and I just said Megadeth instead of Metallica. So he did work, Mike Klink did work on the Prince and Bread Fan. And so that was news to me, I think. Relatively news to me, I guess. But so Mike Klink did this stuff, which is interesting because the bass is a little more there on these, but not completely. So it's still bass that's not like monstrous bass sounding, but I love this song. We'll probably cover these songs in the Prince. Anyways, I just thought that was kind of interesting that I forgot that he had done that. So anyways, Fleming, it's actually kind of a decent story. I mean, Mike was saying that one day they came into the studio and they were like, let's go out for a drink. And they went down to the book in the box that says the bar they went to and stuff and everything. But of course, in hindsight, Hetfield had a few drinks and then he started asking questions because he said from his perspective, Hetfield was like the silent member, but he also could see that he could feel Hetfield's influence, but it was like a silent influence. It was weird, so. But he's like, how is it working with us? How do you think it's going? He's like, he basically was like, it's not going like I thought it would, but, and then they basically were like, well, I think he says Fleming's coming in, so, and it was like a mutual thing. And he had a pretty good attitude about it. Like, he was saying that, like, I don't want, like, to just be there to be there. I want to be there so I can make the band I'm working with, better, or not better, but bring the best out of them. And so it seemed like a pretty good split. And yeah, but man, reading about this album, it's just like, they were basically making like these drum tracks and editing, like, today's Pro Tools digital audio workstations, and cutting it all on tape and making it so precise, and it's awesome that they put that much work into it. But it's just like, wow, it's just so different now. What is it, 32 years? Going to be 33 years. And so anyway, so we should probably get into this. They mixed this album like while they started the Monsters of Rock tour. And of course, Kirk had like very little time to do his solos. And I remember interviews where Kirk is saying that like everyone loves the solos on this album, and he's like, I just felt like they weren't done. But sometimes that's when good stuff seems to happen from the fan perspective anyways, that like he felt rushed and this, and everyone was like, no, it's my favorite. So and of course Newstead, I think, said he'd recorded all his stuff in like 2 days. So but yeah, so again, the mix on this album, there's just so much talk about the bass not being there. But for me, in ways I agreed with Lars before the box set came out to like not remix the album, just remaster it, leave it alone. It's a part of history. It's a part of where they were as a band back then, which I agree with. But then like when I got the box set, I'm like, dude, there's so much stuff on here. You should have just had someone like mix it, like with the bass in, because there are versions online, which I think Lars even said, like, there's versions out there where you can hear the bass and all this kind of stuff. But to me, they're not official. So I don't know. It's just, I'm not going to sit and listen to it unless it's like released from the band. So there's a couple early rough mix, work in progress, rough mix that we have that we could check out, here and there. But again, we're not going to beat that to death. We're going to try and just talk about the 9 songs on this album. So, but yeah, I mean, they went on tour with Van Halen, the Monsters of Rock tour, and they were destroying, I think it was Dokken, and I can't remember who played before them, before Van Halen. But Metallica was like second on the bill as far as order. Let me just look it up. I can't remember. Monsters of Rock, 1988. All right, let's see. Scorpions, that's right. So it was Y&T, Kingdom Come, Metallica, Dokken, Scorpions, then Van Halen. So huge tour. And again, I mean, to me, those two bands, Van Halen, Metallica, oh man, what a great show to see. So anyway, all right, let's jump into this. Blackened opens the album. It's got the reverse guitar part playing. Still one of the coolest little... It's just so awesome. I don't know how to explain it. So, and we'll hear the mix. This is the original CD. I will play some of the remastered from 2018 just to show the difference. It actually seems like that's a little bit louder, but we'll see, just based on the kilobytes per second. So, in FLAC form. So, here we go. Very dry album, And this is one of my favorite Metallica riffs. This, I guess, a Newstead riff, and man, such a tight sound. It's just, that's the thing, is like, yeah, I do like the bigger bottom end to stuff, but like everything about this is just great. I love the drums to refresh everybody. I love Lars. I think Lars is one of my favorite drummers, and I just love his vibe on stuff like this, where it's like it's going double, and it's like, and it goes. I love that. Which again, one of the big critiques on Metallica is that like they never captured live what they do, or never capture in the studio what they do live, you know, up until this point, you know, anyways, or until the Black Album, but, which is, I guess, what Bob Rock said, but, and, you know, it's kind of true, but, you know, again, this is a different time. They were learning how to make everything sound the way we just take for granted now that we can just make drums sound like this and everything sound just like huge and monster. You know, they had to like physically do it. It's awesome. Some double bass here. Man, I love this song. Yeah, a lot of cool just time things, and it's like, you know, just another, obviously, just amazing riff. Great drum fill here. I think the producer said that he's like, there are some points in this album, he's like, well, we had like 8 guitars playing. Like, that's awesome. And it's just like cramming a lot of stuff into this. It's just awesome. Such a good tune. And then, I mean, this is like, to me, where it sets Metallica apart. Just sections like this, the breakdown riff here, and then how it builds up to that like guitar harmony part. It's just like, it's so, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like that. It's just Metallica, you know. They always had the guts to just do something, even if it's still like in a minor key or whatnot. It still has like some great melody that makes you go like, oh, you know, like, that's awesome. Like, this part here is just so, oh. Which, of course, is probably based, the kind of lead guitar there is very up in the mix, but like, if you just kind of try to listen into the chords behind that, it's like the cool little drum thing there too. Watching this interview with Newstead where he said the hi-hat's like louder than the vocals or something. It was just fun, it made me laugh. I was just like, I don't know if I ever noticed that, but it's funny. Kirk doing some I just like this, how even though the solos are pretty dry too, you know. It's a very dry album, but again, I'm fine with it the way it all is, so. But this is great how it just kicks back in. First of all, that riff, that just variation on the main opening riff, I guess, the Newstead riff, I just love it here. It's just so good. So this part here, it is still one of my favorite things, and even there's some stuff on Hardwired that just gives me this feeling that I just love it. So it's just this. And he starts hitting the toms and comes in on like the offbeat. It's just, I love it. Which is it's pretty awesome, obviously. And so that's like the same riff. It's actually, it sounds like it's slower too, but it's the same riff at large is playing in the different time, not time, but instead of like, he's like, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom, ga. I remember my brother saying a lot of China cymbals on this album way back. So now every time I hear a China cymbal on this album, I'm just like, dude, stupid. But that was the other thing too about this album. My brother was like, this is way back, like I said, 93, 94. He was just like, this album's got so many different fills and so many different things. And I just remember thinking like, I never thought of that. And I'm like, and then I started like, I don't know, like when you first get into an album, you're just kind of like, this is like, it's just the album. And then you like, the more you listen to it, you really start breaking it down and start to really get stuff. And you know, that's one of the cool things about me and my brother being so close was that we were able to like discover this kind of stuff, you know, together, I guess, you know. So real quick, again, I have so many versions of this, and I'm not, but which we might visit this a couple times. But when they do Justice for All on Binge and Purge, I love the way they go into this riff. Well, Blackened. Yeah, that's awesome. I just love that concert. It's so good. Blackened. What else do we have? Yeah, I think I will, let's move on. So, this is probably my favorite song on this album. I love this song. I still know, you know, I'd have to fake my way through a few parts, but like I learned this song and I bought, this was like the second tab book I bought. I bought Countdown and I bought this one. I would borrow my uncles and stuff like that, so it wasn't like the first songs I learned, but anyways, but like once I learned this, I just like never forgot it. And again, I don't play it all the time, but like I could still play the intro, and like I said, I'd have to fake my way through a couple parts here and there, but I still just know, just like there's still like muscle memory to this song. And again, this is a thing with Metallica too, where I just love, and Bob Rock says it, and I just totally agree how Lars plays to the music. And so it's just like, just those little fills and stuff there. I just love, he's just really in tune with what the guitars are doing. I think, you know. So again, this is just one of my favorite little things, this drum fill. Like he's playing the guitar riff on the drums, you know? Yeah, this is, it always breaks my heart, but like I had Sirius XM at one point, I don't know, 6 years ago or something like that, and I'm like, oh cool, Justice for All's on the song. And my youngest daughter's just like, Dad, this song will never end. This song sucks. I was like, whoa, you know, it was funny. I'm like, wrong, you know, so it's not for everybody, but it's just one of my favorites. I mean, we're 2 minutes in and we haven't even got the vocals going yet. And I like when Anthrax does that stuff too, especially on the stuff up to Persistence of Time. But for some reason, Metallica is like, it's my favorite. It doesn't feel like it's just doing things. It doesn't feel like it's doing an intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, with no vocals, and then come in. For some reason with Metallica, it just feels like just a different kind of like, I don't know, like journey or something like that. It's just, I love it. But this riff is just, I don't even know if it's a riff. It was like a little doodle or something. It's like, but it's still awesome. Price. I love that. Another China hit there. I remember playing that on the drums and just using the hi-hat with my right hand, and my left hand was hitting the tom. And my one uncle was like, no, you need two hi-hats so you can do hi-hat with your right, you know, on the right side and then hit the drums. But I'm like, every time I see Lars play this, he does it like I was doing it. It looks awkward, but that's how he's doing it, you know. So, in my uncle's defense, though, you know, it could have been done that way, because in the studio, you can set stuff up however you want, you know, whatever, so. But it was funny. Every now and then I see something, I'm like, hey, look how he's playing that, you know, which I think is only on Through the Never, the movie or whatever. Which I was so glad this song's on there. So I love it. One thing about this album, though, is that Lars said that he used to think like, this song's only 6 minutes. He's like, we gotta add some more riffs. We gotta do some more arranging to get things longer and more complex. And it just that was just kind of their idea of like, these songs is like, the longer they are, the better. I don't know if the better is the term, but, and that's just growing as a musician / in my opinion, inventing like a new kind of genre of music. I don't care what Dave Mustaine says, but like Metallica was leading the way as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, I mean, they were just doing what they thought. I mean, they were like still in their mid-20s, you know, when they're doing this stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's just, again, just paving the way for everybody, even people that aren't famous, you know, like just people being able to hear them evolve as a band, and then you can take the stuff that works and that doesn't work because it's, you know, Metallica, but like the stuff that you're like, yeah, this song doesn't need to be this, it needs to be more to the point. But then there's other times you're like, this song needs to be 7 minutes or 8 minutes, you know, whatever. So great little thing. That's so crazy, so dry. It's so cool, though. I know they said Hetfield used a Mesa Boogie Mark III on this, but I can't remember if I ever saw what Kirk used. But yeah, Kirk's the kind of player to me, in my opinion, that he's the type of player that just has his sound just totally, you know, in the way he plays, you know. And That's like a big debate. Like, tone is in your hands. It's like, yes, it's part of your tone is in your hands, but of course you need the distortion and all this kind of stuff. Whatever, I'm not going to even get into it. But like, to me, Kirk is, and even Hetfield too, is just these dudes. Both of them have this like playing style that I just think really affects the way their quote unquote guitar tones come off. But I mean, just listen to that wall of guitars there. It's just. It's good stuff. I always try to listen for tape cuts, you know, just knowing the way they made this album. Like, sometimes I think I hear one there on the drums, but whatever. It's, again, I don't want them to fix it. That's just the way it was. Like, you know. I just love this. Good job panning the drums too there, you know, stars on the right, center, and left. It's nice. Truth assassin. Yeah. So since I did mention it, I think I will Through the Never. Seems like on the Death Magnetic, I guess, tour / era, they got really into playing these tapes of intros before the, you know, band kicks in. But it's kind of cool because it kind of creates like a vibe of being there, because I sometimes wonder if there's like compression on it, so that way it's like it just doesn't get a million times louder there like it does on the album. But you gotta hear this. This is like... I just love that. Oh, I just love to crank that. One thing too with this album is when I first bought a record player back in 2017, I may have actually said this on the other show too. I did buy, because let me see, I think Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Master were already remastered at that point. And so I did buy this just because I was like, I know they're going to do a remaster of Justice for All, and I just wanted at least a vinyl version before the remasters, which of course I knew were coming. And yeah, so I have that, which it was, again, it's on the blackened label, so in America anyway. So I just knew, I just wanted it. It's like I said, it's my favorite album. It's just one of those things. It's just like yeah, I just love it. So I guess because I do love this song, I mean, I love every song, but let's hear one of the rough mixes. In my opinion, you can hear Newstead more on this, but it's pretty good, interesting. I don't know if we ever heard the end. But yeah, I mean, this is it's just funny. It always cracks me up that my daughter was like, "Dad, this is the worst song I've ever heard." I'm just like, dude, this is like one of my favorite Metallica songs. Young whippersnappers, man. Yeah. This is another album too. I mean, speaking of it, when Blackened Recordings, I guess, came out, like, you know, Walmart had like every, you know, Metallica album in that bin for like, you know, $4.99. So it's like I bought this, but this is an album where it's like I bought it on CD. I think I bought it again on CD, and it's like those ones are so worn out and so jacked up. I just was like, you know what? I need a version of this. It's just untouched. And again, knowing that the remasters were going to come out, I was like, I just wanted, like, I have a few of them. I bought like 2 Black albums and stuff too, to where I just, you know, I don't think they're going to butcher any of these things when they remaster them. But I just wanted like a perfect clean copy of these albums. Yeah, I just love this ending. That's good. So yeah, that's Justice for All. One of the big things too, I think it was Fleming. I'll keep, well, I guess I don't have to practice his name much, but Rasmussen was like, Hetfield was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to do everything with a down pick. And for guitar, you know, instead of going up and down, up and down, just going all down, like, it does have a better, I don't know if better is the term, but different, more kind of aggressive attack. And it's definitely something that you need to be warmed up to do very well. And there is a moment, like if you play guitar for long enough, as in like in a sitting, like you will like sometimes just feel like you're on fire, you know. And I'm the best at down picking when I've been playing for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I can just feel like, but like typically I'm an up and down because like I'm like, whatever, you know. So, but, so the next song, I always say the Eye of the Beholder. I can't remember. I do remember. It was the spring of 94 when I was just like, that is like, that riff is just so amazing. And that's when I went and bought that tablature book because I heard, I got into this album. And then for some reason, at some point, the main riff, once it kind of breaks in this song, and it was the easiest thing ever too. It was just like, man, I didn't need to buy the book for this, but Eye of the Beholder. I love the fade in, and I love anticipating the snare hit. I don't know if that makes sense, but just like, feels like this could just go forever, and then like when's he gonna hit the snare? Because then the riff changes, you know, a little bit, you know. So one thing about bass on this is that if you watch I'm sure we'll talk about it next time too. If you watch Year and a Half, live Metallica in the studio, and Bob, I think they're talking about the Unforgiven, when Bob's talking about the bow, he's like teaching them about like not only volume but like EQ and having room for stuff to fit in the mix. And I think that's just like where working with Bob Rock was a good thing, because he taught them like how to EQ, you know, how to mix and how to do whatever. But again, I still love this album the way it is. But I mean, sometimes I think albums like this and like Saint Anger, and like if they had production like, you know, Black Album, Load, Reload, and like Hardwired, like how brutal would those albums be? Oh my goodness, you know, it's just like Here we go. One thing too on this is that, because this is the riff I just love, you can hear it goes nigga now now, nigga now now now. You know, sometimes you just want to play it now. I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes you don't. I guess I don't always play the riff exactly like that, but like when I play it, someone knows what I'm playing. Do you see what I see? Oh man, I love this. It's like lame vocal effects, you know, like ooh, that sounds cool. Let's try that, you know. I mean, it's not lame, but it's just, I don't know, what do the kids call it nowadays? Typical. So this is whenever I listen to this song, it always kind of just like cracks me up how simple like this is. It's just like, it's, I don't know, so simple, but it's just like, just the whole, everything happening is just so heavy to it, and to me, you know, it's, and even this riff here, it's just I'll shut up and let you hear it, but it's just like, I mean, it sounds too like there's the, you know, the power chord riff, and then there's like a, not a lead, but like a single note riff too being played there. It's pretty cool, but even, you know, again, stuff like that, the way it stops, you know, just goes right in, because the first time it's like bow, bow, do you see what I see? And this time it's just like bow, bam, I just love that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's good stuff. So, let me see. We'll go to this, because this is like Binge and Purge. I just love this. This is so, I was so glad this was on here. And again, in hindsight, because this was released before I even really got this riff. But you can still do that when you get into a band and there's a lot of material out. You're just like, oh, is this on this? Is this on that? Is that on that? And you're like, oh, it is. At least it's on like a medley of this, you know, or whatever. Let's hear them play this riff, though. They're playing those triplets, too. You can hear it. Which, that's it. That's all you get. Yeah, it's crazy. There was a, I think their website, what do you call it? The nugs.com.net that they do their live shows through. They did a 30 Years of Justice. So all these live shows. But this, of course, I was like, oh, it's a crappy version. And I guess Lars said, I guess last year that this is his like least favorite Metallica song. And I'm like, no, you're wrong, Lars. You're wrong. Like this competes for my favorite song on this album. This is good though because my buddy Ryan was actually at the blackened versions from Silverdome in Detroit, Michigan in 1999. It was on New Year's Eve. This sounds pretty good. I should have went to this. Because, yeah, I never saw Newstead play with Metallica. And if I would have went to this, I was dating my wife too at the time. It was like she was like not opposed to it either. And it was just like I probably just didn't go because, like I said, I've said or alluded to, I was like a closet smoker, so I probably would have lost my mind if I went to a concert and it's like a whole like 6, 7, 8 hour ordeal and I needed to smoke. So, God bless her for staying with me, but yeah, it would have been a disaster. But I should have went. Where were we? This, like, I guess, bridge. That seems like the most reverb we've heard so far is those tom hits, you know? Pretty cool. Yeah, I could just... This whammy bar here is so good. Kirk. Now that's not a dry solo. There's some reverb there. I like it. Like I've said, I'm a reverb junkie. I love reverb, so I've said I guess I've said on previous shows, not this one, but so this song's about over. We got a minute left, and they're about to get to the last chorus. So let's see what happens here. I love this. Even those snare hits are pretty cool. I don't know. I just love that. That's pretty cool. There's some craziness going on there with guitars. Dang. That's good. Let me hear the work in progress. It's awesome. You hear the bass there. I think that's what I was saying when I started talking about the Monsters of Rock, was that like this album wasn't out yet when that tour started. I think it was in July started of 88, obviously. And James and Lars are flying back to like New York to like mix, and you know, people were, you know, I don't like to harp on the whole bass thing on this album, but like people were saying stuff like, well, the engineer, the mixing guys, I can't remember their names. Let me look. I feel like an idiot, but Steve Thompson and Michael Barbario. Yikes. In Bearsville Studios, New York. So, yeah. Anyways, they were like telling people, I think they called Q Prime, Metallica's management, and it was like, we're not cool with what they're doing. And they're like, just do what they're saying. And they're like, okay. So they were like, all right. But again, this isn't, in my opinion, this isn't that much different than like, I thought we may have said this on well, we can check master, but like if you hear, I don't know, to me, like Metallica never really had tons of bass until the Black Album. I mean, you hear it, but you're not hearing like low frequencies, you know. It's there. It's kind of like that Diary of a Madman bass sound, you know. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's there, but it still wasn't like, it's not rattling the windows and the drywall and stuff, you know. So it's there, but it was still, you know, once we get to the intro to Enter Sandman, to me, that's when bass with Metallica starts. It's like, it's awesome. Again, one of my favorite songs. Not my favorite song, but just one of my favorite Metallica ballads. It's a really good song, and sometimes it's one of those songs you're like, oh, I don't want to hear this song, but just the whole structure of it, just all the guitar stuff in the beginning, I just love it. And I just love how, like, you know, they played, like when they played this stuff, I think they played this at the Grammys, right, in 88 or 89, and when Jethro Tull won. But it's just like, it's awesome. Like, it's so crazy. Let me hear the Mexico City. Let's hear the bass on that one. Which he's not even playing here yet, so obviously, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like Metallica has always just been like, mix the album with the bass and the kick. The bass and the kick. The kick and the snare just slamming. Yeah, it's good. But this part here is always nice too. How it goes. Yeah, boom, boom. I can remember anything. Yeah, I just love everything about this song. The drums, the guitars, just the vocals, the vocal line, the melody, the melody, and it's just, yeah, there it is. So for some reason, when I first heard this chorus, I don't know if for the better, I guess, but it just changed my life. Hearing this. Like even stuff like that, I just love it. That down, love it. Let's see if he does that like scream. Mexico City. When he goes, sticks in me. Let me check through the Never. I can't find it. Maybe it's S&M. Not there. Cunning Stunts. Nope. Big Four. Can't find it.
Look to the time when I live. Get to the truth that sticks in me. Just like one time now.
There it is. Big Four.
Get to the truth that sticks in me.
I love that. I love that. All right, sorry. A little detour there.
Cut this life off from me. Hold my breath as I wish for death. Oh, please, God, wake me.
I love that. You can hear the just multiple layers of guitars on this. I just love it. I do love too how that whole solo is like a clean tone, you know. I don't know, the guitar players shy away from that, you know. It's very revealing on no distortion, no, you know. But this whole section to me is just brilliant. You know, and to me, this to me, I guess to me, just brings metal to the masses. Because, like, how cool is this? And how easy is it to, even that riff there. But this part here, I mean, it is cool. I always feel like I have to justify the hit singles, especially on this album, which I guess is this, and then the Black Album. But I would just argue that these songs are amazing, and Metallica is just genius for doing this stuff. I don't know, because it is kind of a natural thing to do. Just that little riff. And then the drums, not that part, but the. It's also something, again, back then, had never been done before. So it's like you got Lars building up to it. It's just amazing. It's really cool. It's always a bonus when something that's real popular is actually really good, you know, and for me, that's what Metallica is. I was just saying to my daughter's boyfriend tonight that I'm like, sometimes the biggest band or the most popular thing is actually awesome. And in my mind, in my opinion, Metallica is an example of that. Metallica is the biggest metal band of all time. They are one of the biggest bands of all time, but they are actually awesome. And a lot of times there's a lot of trash that's the biggest, I don't know, most streams, most downloads, all this crap, but it's all junk that's just trash, you know. But like Metallica is actually one of the things that's like, yeah, this movie made a lot of money, or this album sold a lot of records, but these guys actually deserve it. So it's just, So before we go to the solo officially, we got to hear the landmine live, right? Yeah, man, here we go. This is Mexico City, for which I'm sure hardcore fans know. Oh, I love that. So good. I think Through the Never's got a good one too. Something about that Mexico City one that just, I love it. So, guitar player of the year, man. So, Kirk, I think, kills it. This is good. I sometimes wonder if that felt like, I don't know, like Lars says in some kind of Monster, stock. It's like stock kind of solo, but it fits the song so well. Just that tapping solo there. And I can't even remember if I said it on the last shows of Metallica. But like Kirk Hammett was like my favorite guitar player for like a long time until I discovered Van Halen, really. From what I see of Kirk, from how he presents himself in like documentaries and stuff like that. I know I'm not like friends with the guy, but like I just seem to I like his personality on video, not reality. And I just love the way he plays guitar. I love his solos. I love his attitude. But it's, and I like how he, everyone always talks about Hetfield and stuff like that. And I just like how, I'm like, well, if you live, Kirk's holding his own. It's not, everyone always talks about Hetfield's the greatest rhythm player. It's like, yeah, well, who plays rhythm like 99% of the times at the concert with Hetfield? Hammett. He knows how to jam too, But the end of this, anyways, I just love it. I love, also, as a guitar player, speaking of Kirk, I've played his ESP, signature guitar in stores. I don't own one. I wish I did, because every now and then you pick up a guitar and it just like fits you. It just like the neck, everything just feels right. And those, I don't know, just the standard Kirk Hammett ESP with the inverted neck and all this. I just love it. And it feels great. And they had the LTD one, and I loved it. But every now and then I'm like, I don't want to buy the cheap version. I want to buy the good version. So it's like, that's why I don't have that guitar. So, but so as a guitar player, I'm like, that that's, I guess, why I feel like I connect with him. I don't know if as a musician, but and not in a weird way. It just seems like I'm like, he likes the same kind of guitars I do or something, because it's his guitar and his custom guitar, and I love the way it feels, like without even one riff I play and I'm like, oh, this is a great guitar. So anyway, so Shortest Straw. This is the first song, I think, that's worthy of us checking out the difference between the original and the remastered, because it starts big, So here we go. Let's do this. This is the original at the same volume. Let me see. Here we go. And remastered. Sounds to me just just wider, a big wide sound, you know. Which is nice. It's nice. It's a good remaster. I mean, Lars is like, Lars is the kind of person, I think, that like, just from listening to his show on Apple Music and just you know, like he's like a super fan of music, so I think he just knows or follows, you know, what he feels like he would want to hear as a fan of something. And so he's like, fans don't like when people butcher something that they have just had part of their lives forever. And so, you know, it could be the whole band deciding that, you know, but to me, it's like Lars is kind of the, seems to be the driving force behind Metallica, is like just direction. Like they have a good direction. They don't ever do things like, you know, Megadeth, where it's like all of a sudden we're going to do a Countdown to Extinction album live and it's going to be tuned weird and we know everybody hates this lineup, but we're going to pretend nobody hates it. And like, you know, I don't know. Oh, I love this song. I remember a funny song. I don't know if it's funny, but at one point we were like, actually it was probably 93, 94, but I love that. We were trying to like make me and my brother and my buddy John, we love the Friday the 13th movies. And at one point we were like, we were going to just make our own fan movie, and we were going to I just thought the beginning of this song would be cool for like Jason's, like Friday the 13th part 6, Jason's walking in the woods all fast. And I was like, how cool would it be if Jason Voorhees is walking fast and then you hear this? And you start it over. Whoops, wrong song, sorry. I remember my brother's just like, yeah, do it. Let's do it. I didn't know how to do it. But it was like, it just seemed to me like something like Jason would be walking to, you know, it was cool. But to me, the second half of this album is so good. And I think 1 is the cutoff. It's part 1, part 2. But I love the first 4 songs so much. Like, to me, every time I see Metallica live, I want to hear those first 4 songs. I've only heard 2, actually. Blackened and 1. But, yeah. Oh, I love that. Anyways. But it's always funny. It's like you feel like you want to hear, like, To Live Is To Die and Dyer's Eve, you know. It's like, oh wait, dude, no. Shortest Straw is awesome. Harvester of Sorrow, Frayed Ends of Sanity. It's just like those 3 songs are just kind of sandwiched in there, and they're not short either. I mean, this song's 6.5 minutes. Harvester's like 5:45, and Sanity's like 7:43. Like, these are beasts of songs, you know. I think they're a whole side on the vinyl, you know. I mean, this is just so good. Bam, 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 bam. I love it. It's good. It's good stuff. But, dun, dun, dun. Like, right there, that's awesome. That's awesome. Dun, 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 dun. Bam. It's awesome. Let's try to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Like, there's just stuff all over the place. But, you know, I still say metal is like everyone always holds like classical music on this like high plateau, which it is. musically and like theory wise, it's really genius stuff. But I would argue that metal is like, you know, in like 200 years, people are going to look back and be like, this is insane stuff. They're like, these people didn't know anything about writing music that like fits theory and all. They were just doing things. And it's like I still think metal is the ultimate like music style of our time, of the last, 30, 40 years. In my opinion, it starts with like, you know, Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax, and Slayer. Those are the dudes. Oh, okay, so I love the fills there. So it's like the first time it's just nothing. The next time it's like, boom. And then this time he does the fill the whole time. I just love it. It's just total Lars. I love it. It's awesome. Yeah, great riffs. I mean, Metallica is the best at just like orchestrating these amazing like walls of guitar. I love it. But I'm always disappointed though when I find out like Hetfield did everything and like Kirk only did this, and I don't know why. But even before, like way back, even when I was young, I'm like, wait a minute, Hammett only played the solos? And then it's just like you read the liner notes on the box set of Justice. It's like all harmony, melody, and acoustic guitars on all songs. And the second solo to Live Is to Die, Hetfield. I'm like, so Kirk only did, you know, so like Hetfield did everything. But I always had this vision of, not everything, but you know what I mean. I had this vision of like Hetfield and Hammett just doing all the stuff, and it's like, oh, it's mostly Hetfield, but hey, it is what it is. So, Harvester of Sorrow, great song. Sometimes not always my favorite, but I know why they play this song live all the time, because it's like one of the funnest songs to play, in my opinion. It's a fun song, just the way the riffs are, the clean tone, the drums, everything about this song is just awesome. So let's check it out. I love it. Love it. I remember always just like going like, I need a riff that starts heavy and then goes clean and then goes heavy. It's just all based on this stuff. It's just awesome. It's just like, and this is the remaster. It seems like that like vocal thing is like much louder on that. Let's hear it. Let's hear. This is the original. It's there, but it just seems more clear on this 2018, I guess. Man, we're so old. Yeah, this is all just brilliant. Like Mexico City is so good. Newstead here, he's like, keep it going, Mexico City. And then Hatfield, I love it.
Keep it going, Mexico City!
That's awesome. And that's a killer riff. That is a just killer riff. I better get moving here. This is great. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I love it. See, there's that China my brother was talking about. Soft case. This is the shortest, let me see. No, Dyer's Eve. I was thinking this is the shortest song on this album that Dyer's Eve is. This is 5:45, Dyer's Eve 5:13. So, yeah. My youth. And this is a song too, you know, in the 2000s and after Some Kind of Monster and after Hetfield was in rehab and stuff, where he's just like, and again, I may have said this, you know, 3.5 years ago, but all of Hetfield's lyrics are very like outside focused, like, you've got a problem, and like, you're shoot up, shoot in, let the game begin, you know, like, he's like, I never looked in, but you know, that's part of growing up. I mean, that's part of like, yeah, you guys are in a rock and roll metal band, so you guys, I think it was Jason said that like we're gonna be progressing, developing slower than most people because of just the lifestyle we have, you know. And so I never look at these old lyrics like, oh, Hetfield was an addict and he's a hypocrite. I'm like, no. I'm like, he was a freaking 26-year-old guy or whatever. So I mean, because that's what we do. I mean, we all know we have our own problems, but it's like, you can always, even if you know you have a problem, you can always look and be like, oh, I don't do that, or I don't do this, you know. And that's why it's dangerous to compare ourselves to other people, because, you know, nobody's perfect. So you know, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you're always like going, well, I'm not as bad as him, I'm not as bad as her, I'm not as bad as this, you know. So it's, you know, you got to be. But as a young dude, you know, in the 90s, early 90s, like, I was like vibing with this stuff, and I didn't even know why. Like, I never knew what these songs were about. I didn't care, again. So it's just, you know, hey, I think, because, you know, people will say like, well, you know, these guys, look at these, they're a mess, and so, you know, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, if you look at Some Kind of Monster, they're all in their late 30s, early 40s. And it's like, I know a lot of people that are a mess in their late 30s, early 40s. So it's like, no, just, again, stop judging yourself based on other people. It's just, you know, you're just setting yourself up for just insanity, in my opinion. You know, it's just be able to understand, like, hey, this is what they put out. And it's one of the things about nowadays, that we're all so judgy about the past and all these things, and looking at things through like just like through the lens of things we know or think we know. But it's so easy for us to just be like, they're idiots, you know, the whole, you know, just cancel them, they said this, they said that. And it's just like, yeah, everybody learns at their own pace, you know. And I'm not talking about things that are just overtly wrong. I'm talking about just like part of growing up, you know. It's just, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, this was like the second song that I always was like, I remember my brother telling me about it. And I'm like, what? Wizard of Oz, you know? Great riff here, though. Yeah, that's a great fill. Sorry, but oh man, that's good. I'm curious to hear the like I said, 30 Years of Justice live version of this. Interesting. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, okay. I guess better move on here. Oh man, that's a good riff. This is another riff here too. It's not like the most iconic riff, but it does have this like epic feel to it, you know? That's awesome. This has got Hammett too on the writing credits, so I always just feel like Kirk's always underrated in Metallica. I mean, like without Metallica or without Kirk, I mean, there'd be no Enter Sandman. There's all these huge epic songs. I just feel like those are the ones with majority wise, those are the ones with Kirk on them. Like, I think Kirk is just like a great riff writer. I don't know exactly what riffs he wrote on this, but it's awesome. It's amazing. And that riff just, it's just great. It's so good. I love it. And that's always been one of my favorite parts of it. It's my favorite part of this song. Just the way the guitar, everything. There's so much tension in this whole song, really. And then this. Then the harmony comes in. It's just great. It's pretty epic. Let's hear Kirk here. I mean, again, I know why there's all these podcasts about Metallica, like there's Metallica A through Z, because, I mean, you could talk about all these songs for a very long time. And just, I mean, if you listen to the riffs behind this solo, it's just all perfection. It's so perfection. Yeah, it's so good. And then Lars hits those toms before he comes in here. It's so good. And that's just like a wall of guitars. It's just so huge. That's why it's like, yeah, I want to hear this sound like all the other Metallica albums that sound just perfect, but it's just like, I also don't. Justice, this is what Justice sounds like. And I think Lars was right by saying, like, with the anniversary edition, leave it alone, leave it alone. But again, I guess I do stand by what I said. Like, if you're gonna include so much stuff, why not just go ahead and remix it? But I support it both ways, I don't know. This is still just something that reminds me of being like 14, 13 years old. For some reason, just like this, the just energy here just makes me just like, ugh. It's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Awesome. We should probably hear the way they kick into this. They're doing Blackened, and then they kick into this. It's so good. I guess in a perfect world, what I want is for them to do like they did with Orion. Go into an empty arena on the Orion Through the Never. Empty arena and just play this whole album with Newstead. That's what I want. I don't want this remixed. I want them to do something different, you know, and make it separate, you know. But anyways, let's hear the end of this song. Yeah, that riff is just so metal. That is so good. That's so epic. It's good stuff. So, To Live Is to Die. Huge song. Longest song until Outlaw Torn. So I think what makes this what I call my favorite Metallica album is that like every song I can find a reason for this to be my favorite song. Like there's a part in all these songs that I'm just like, that's you're just like mind blown. And this has several. Like this intro is perfect. The main riff is perfect. The build-ups, the breakdown, the melodies, when, you know, just this whole song is just perfection. And Cliff wrote the words, so this is the last song that has Burton on it. You know, it's when a man lies, he murders. True, some part of the world. I guess I read that weird. When a man lies, he murders some part of the world. These are the pale deaths which men miscall their lives. All this I cannot bear to witness any longer. Cannot the kingdom of salvation take me home? Kind of spooky, considering what happened to Cliff, you know. Let's hear the, because it has the intro work in progress mix. It's pretty cool. This is like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's pretty nice. And again, that's something nowadays that seems like anybody could write or anybody could do. But like when you like think about this just being 1988 or 87, you know, when it was written, because they were like recording, these songs were ready in 88 in January. So yeah, it sounds pretty simple, and I've talked about on some Floyd shows where there's like positions on the guitar that's like, oh, Metallica does that, you know, but still Metallica was like, I don't know, like doing this, and I guess you could say taking a chance on it, you know, because they got flack for this kind of stuff. So I mean, some people hated the fact that they did this kind of stuff, and this is nice though. So that's the intro. But this is always like a song that's like, I always think like this is my brother. This is like his kind of song. He loves these kind of riffs. Yeah. And if I'm looking at the kilobytes per second on this one, The original is 916, and then this one's 911. So it's a little. It doesn't peak as much, but I mean, again, this is just like that stuff there that Kirk does. I love it. It just feels so real. Yeah, I just love this. It just feels like a solo that he just played, you know. I'm sure it was like critiqued and chopped up, all this kind of stuff, but it just feels like something that he sat down and played. And I love that kind of music, you know, that just feels like someone is sitting there playing it and you're listening to it. It's just amazing. Yeah, so let's go to the breakdown. Oh gosh, this riff, this build-up riff to the breakdown is so, which is basically the same riff as the breakdown, the same chord structure, but it's just so epic. It's so good. Man, that's so good. And to me, that's like you tell the producer, like, I want this part to sound like the intro to Wish You Were Here, you know. And then those guitars with the volume swells, they're like huge production. It's amazing. That's one thing, man. I'd love to hear this the way they did again, Orion on Through the Never. But it has to be Newstead. I remember on the Metallica Mondays through the 2020, my youngest daughter, who doesn't like Injustice for All, the song, I would just, you know, kind of like we're doing now, I just tell stories, and I'm like, man, Jason Newsted. And so she always knows, like, when it shows Lars, she's like, there's Lars, and, you know, like, there's James, and she's like, where's Kirk? And I'm like, he's here. And I'm like, but there was this guy, Jason. Jason was my bass player. He's my favorite bass player. I love Newstead. And yeah, that would just be my like Metallica dream come true, to have them play this album through, kind of like they did on Saint Anger, where they played the whole album. And if you don't like the production on that song, that album, you can you know, listen to it in a different, you know, live cut. It's mixed, you know, and recorded and multi-tracked, but yeah, I love it. Even this build-up is cool when he's like, pow, 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 pow. Here's the lyrics. Let's hear it.
When a man lies, he murders some part of the world. These are the pale depths, which men miscall their lives. All this I cannot bear to witness any longer. Cannot the kingdom of salvation take me home?
And, you know, and I don't know, just to me, this is, and Metallica still does it, because I mean, on Hardwired, there's still stuff like this musically, where it's like they still do stuff. For someone like me, it's important. Like, they do these musical things that just make you like, you know, you're like, man, that is awesome. I just even now when I look back, they were just doing things that were just like miles ahead of people. I don't know. Because I know it became cool to hate Metallica in the 90s. And my biggest thing with Metallica was that, like I said, Reload was not my favorite album. Still isn't. And so that was my thing. I was just like, oh man, I don't like Reload. So, but I I don't hate Metallica though, you know. I just feel like they forged the way to just everything we have in heavy music. We gotta hear this build up here. Oh, it's so good. It's just so perfect. I remember when I was like 13, this guy, like, he made this like video of him pretending to play this song on an acoustic. And so I'm like, that's not real. And, I'll leave his name out, but like me and my buddy John were like, no, he's not doing this. He's like faking this and all this kind of stuff. And I remember it just became like just a mission of mine to like be able to play this song. And I can play it, you know, but it's just like back in the early 90s anyways, even all the 90s for me, it was very like, I can do this, you can't do that. I was never like a jerk about stuff, but with my really close friends, I was just like, well, I can do that, but I'm not gonna like broadcast it, you know, because I have nothing to prove to people. So, you know, I don't know, but I want to show my close friends I could do this, you know. So this yeah. That groove, oh, so good. That's awesome. I love, I mean, it's a popular saying, but like, do as I say, not as I do. I've come to realize as a father, like, yeah, I want you to do as I say, not as I do. I don't expect you to be perfect, but like, do as I say, not as I do, you know, because like, especially if you have a kid who's like you, you're like, trust me, do as I say, not as I do. But, you know, everybody knows how that goes. It never works out that way, but let's check out Kirk here. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite parts. Yeah, see, again, that's just stuff Metallica just, to me, does. It's just perfection. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the heaviest songs on the album. It's the fastest, you know, but I love how that album this album just ends. So this is it's just a perfect album. It's so good. And I knew this would be a long show, but unfortunately, I have the hiccups right now, so I can't even talk. So, but yeah, I love the way that album ends. It's like it's going, and it stops and leaves you wanting more. So, and we get more. We get a lot more. So, and that's Injustice for All, really. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's my favorite, I guess you could say my favorite Metallica album, but every Metallica album has just like a huge spot for, you know, in my life. So This sucks. I have the hiccups. Every Metallica album has a spot in my life that just, is untouchable. And every time I see them live, it's just this monstrous thing, and I love it. They're just one of those bands I see live, and I'm just like, this is my favorite band, And yeah, a lot of that I attribute to Lars. Again, like I said in the past, I'm a huge fan of Lars, and a lot of times I just attribute to Metallica's success to Lars and his vision and his understanding of what fans want, and how they perceive bands. So, and this whole album, top to bottom, back to front, it's just back to the front. It's just perfect. It's perfection. And again, I'd love to hear it with Newstead playing, full volume, full, just low end bass EQ. But I'm also totally okay with exactly what we have and the remaster. It's good stuff. So, wow, this is a long show. I'm gonna wrap this up. This has been Justice for All. It's a big album to me, and I know I'm gonna come back to some of this stuff in the future. We'll hit some more of the demos, the riff tapes, all this kind of stuff, but we'll hit that in the future. So again, there's a lot of great Metallica podcasts out there. I sometimes, now I see how big they are, that I'm like, no one even needs to hear my version, my takes on it. And but it's hard for me to move forward without even doing Metallica, just because they've just been so huge to just my life and music and stuff like that. So my plan is to move on. We'll hit the Black Album, man. 1991's Metallica. Just an epic time of music, epic album. So this is Justice for All, part 1. And all right, so if you want to hit me up online, I'm at a podcast and a CD at gmail.com. You can visit me online at a podcast and a CD.com. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at a podcast and a CD. So let me know your thoughts of this album. Let me know your thoughts about Metallica. You can check out all my other shows. I've done Pink Floyd, Van Halen, Roger Waters, some of Anthrax, some of Ozzy. I've hit all of Megadeth's catalog. And let me know what you think. So it's been a good show. Been a fun show. I was afraid to record tonight because I love this album so much, and I'm just like, I don't want to put all this stuff on tape / digital, hard drive, whatever. But I feel like we've done justice to justice, So all right. So next time, hopefully, Metallica, the Black Album, self-titled 5th album from 1991. And until then, this is a podcast and a CD, and I'm Nick.
Slayton Digital Productions.
This is a podcast and a CD.